It was just a horrific joke. It should have never been said.
A mid-Michigan father, for the first time, speaking out about a social media post that landed his son in trouble with the law. Trouble that could have sent him to prison for years. Good evening, everyone. I'm David Custer.
And I'm Meg McLeod. The teenager went on Snapchat and threatened a school administrator, a threat that came not only with legal consequences, but personal ones as well.
His father sits down with me to talk about the fallout, and a local prosecutor is trying to get ahead of the problem. In a story you'll see only on 5.
A parent conflicted over his son's mistake.
I could have lost my son for up to 20 years for this incident.
A school administrator with zero tolerance.
You can't joke about violence.
And a prosecutor spreading a threat of his own.
You never, ever want your name on the top of the arrest warrant.
A now former Flushing High School student did in fact find his name at the top of an arrest warrant, charged with making a threat of terrorism, a felony that could lock someone up for a very long time.
That joke can be looked at 10 different ways.
Yeah.
Staring down a criminal defense attorney,
Not expecting anybody else to ever see it.
was not what Jim Platt thought he'd be doing several hours a week, all because of something his teenage son said on Snapchat.
It was just a horrific joke. It should have never been said.
What was said, Platt describes as out of character for his son. The 16-year-old is an Eagle Scout. He loves to go fishing and be outdoors, even calling him a fun kid to be around. But in an online conversation with 5 other students last November, he threatened to do serious harm to the assistant principal.
He was the only one of 6 from the Snapchat that they decided to put charges against. And part of that is because he said that he had access to my guns. And so they had to take it very seriously. I got that.
They wanted to have Mr. Platt surrender all of the firearms that were in his house because the threats were related to those firearms.
A number of kids talk to him after about legal stuff.
Flushing principal Jason Melynchek says when a threat occurs,
All threats are taken very seriously. We involve the local police.
a student is immediately removed from school in order to undergo a risk assessment by a health provider.
It may be weeks or months before a professional, feels comfortable saying that this student is safe and not a threat to the school environment.
In this case, the teen was expelled from Flushing High and won't be coming back. But on this day, a powerful message is coming to the school, a message from the county's top defender of the law.
You know when there's a kid who maybe is thinking about going down the wrong road.
I want to go into the schools, tell the kids what the real problem is, tell them about the jeopardy they're putting themselves into.
Ever since the Columbine High School massacre in 1999, Prosecutor David Layton says every threat has to be taken seriously. And when it does happen, a deep dive into a student's history takes place.
Has he been a problem in the school before? Has he been getting in fights? Is he a bully? Is he doing his homework? I mean, all these factors into whether or not we're going to charge.
And with severe consequences on the line, Layton's on a mission to get his message to as many students as he can.
Talk to each other. There's nothing more important than that.
It's not a joke. It's not funny. This is serious business. You're putting your liberty in jeopardy. You actually could get locked up.
Potentially losing my son for 20 years? Yeah, nightmare.
It's been hard on Platt, emotionally and physically. He had to take a leave of absence from work to help his son. The teen now goes to therapy and will finish his high school career online, no longer allowed to step foot in the school he once belonged to.
That's the message going out to all these kids and even adults. If you wouldn't want your mother looking over your shoulder at what you're texting and putting into text, then you don't send it.
All of the teen's charges have been reduced to misdemeanors, to which he has agreed to plead guilty in family court. Prosecutor Layton says he plans to continue his talks in every middle and high school in Genesee County.